Well, he's been on Dave's Home Supply getting up to speed before. He was actually the first guest ever back in December. He is back to give us a 2023 update. It's Dominic Scelzi out of Fresno, California, driving the number 41 car, talking about his triumphs at Skagit Speedway for the Summer Nationals, as well as the Johnny Key Classic at Ocean, as well as some 410 success, including the Peter Murphy Classic in Hanford, and his trip to the Northwest, in which he saw a lot of new racetracks this year. That's coming up next after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED. Well, on the phone with Dominic Scelzi. And Dominic, 2023, it's October. Stuff's starting to wind down, but there's some big races coming up on the horizon. Fall Nationals, of course, at Silver Dollar, the rescheduled Myy Williams Memorial at Hanford, and Trophy Cup, and also the tribute to Gary Patterson. There's still lots of great racing to be had in your neck of the woods.
No, absolutely. There's quite a bit of good races coming up. We're not going to partake in a few of them, but we're excited for the Myy Williams, and we're excited for Trophy Cup coming up here soon. And a lot of these races here at the end of the year always seem to bring a little bit bigger car counts, a little bit of guys that are maybe traveling from out of state, out of town, and it kind of is always a fun way to finish the year off.
Well, and the Myy Williams, that's no doubt a special one to you, because your crew chief, Jimmy Carr, used to drive for Myy in the 1990s, and you guys also were able to win the second feature of the first time that they had that race in 2020.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was the first year Jimmy and I had worked together, and really when we kind of decided, hey, we were going to work together was at Myy Celebration of Life. I want to say it was the year before, and when we sort of decided on everything, and we knew the Myy Williams race was going to happen, we wanted to do something special, both Jimmy and I, and Ashley Smith approached us about running a second car, and we couldn't have been more excited. So when we put that deal together, it was kind of last minute. We decided to do it like maybe 2 weeks before the actual race. Went out there on Friday night for the local 410 show, and we started like fourth or fifth. Actually got the lead early and led it until it laid rubber. I just didn't find the rubber. And Kyle Hirsch got by me, and we ended up giving that one away, which was a bummer. And then the first feature for the Myy Williams race the next night, we ran kind of decent. I think we finished like 9th or 10th, and Kyle won it. And then we started 11th in the second feature and drove from 11th to win. So you had to be in a zero car to win, and luckily enough, we were able to win that final feature. So it was really neat. It was something special. And then actually the year after, we won the first feature, the Myy Williams, on the Saturday night. So we've won 2 Myy Williams features, which is really neat, and I'd love nothing more than to add a third to our resume.
Absolutely, and that overall title too. I mean, that's
absolutely,
that's definitely a thing to achieve.
Of course.
Well, 2023 overall, I would say, and obviously we'll have you rate yourself, not too bad of a year. You guys have scored 11 wins, 24 podiums, 31 top fives, 37 top tens, and 46 starts. But from your vantage point, how would you rate how things have went for you personally?
Yeah, it was kind of just a weird season. I think we've been as consistent this season as we were ever before. I mean, as consistent as we could have ever dreamed to be. We've had great speed. We've won some really big races. The Summer Nationals, the Peter Murphy Classic. And we've won a bunch of Speed Week races through Oregon. Honestly, I think it's been a really strong year. But then you look at some of the things that we struggled with, and that would have been like, the 410 Speed Week, the fastest 4 days. I got really sick right before that, and kind of struggled. I'm not sure what I had, but I kind of struggled all the way through Dirt Cup, and unfortunately, we didn't win the Dirt Cup. We started on the pole and faded late. That's a race that we really wanted to win. So I would say we've had some disappointments, and we've had some, like from running out of fuel, leading the NARC race in, where was that, Grays Harbor, and got taken out racing for the lead in Petaluma the last time we were there. So we've been really close to several other wins. Even the Roth race earlier this year, we were running second and some contact and ended up upside down. So we were really close to winning a lot of really big races, and it just didn't work out. But in all, we've had really good speed, been really consistent. And I'm happy with where we're at. We ran really strong with the Outlaws, ran third on our preliminary night at the Gold Cup, fourth in the finale. Almost stole an Outlaw win there in Hanford at the Tom Charlton Classic, but ended up third. It's been a good year. We've had a lot of speed. We've been very consistent, and I think the same thing over the last 3 years. But just continued to build. So this is my fourth year racing with Jimmy, and I think we're just continuing to grow and evolve and show that we're a wrecking ball night in and night out. We're a force to be reckoned with everywhere we go, and we've had great speed.
Well, something you mentioned, the Speed Week in the Northwest, that you went to a lot of new racetracks this year in the Northwest and in Montana, and that seemed like it was a positive experience for you and your race team.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Something that I've wanted to do for a long time was, go to Cottage Grove and go to Banks and, kind of really experience, I would say the full Oregon 360 Speed Week. Unfortunately, they had two of them this year, and I didn't make it to all of them on either trip, but we had a great time both times we went up there. The first one was obviously we were headed up for the Summer Nationals, and we started in Banks, which is a place I'd wanted to race for a long time. And I think we didn't sweep the night, but we did win the main event. We won the main event on the Monday night or Tuesday night, whatever night it was. I can't even remember anymore, but won both nights at Cottage Grove, which was super fun. That's an awesome little racetrack. And then we went up to win the Summer Nationals, went to Banks on the second trip. We won Cottage Grove on the opener of the Speed Week South, and then went to Banks and started fourth or fifth. Actually, maybe even started sixth and ran second there. So had great speed at all those racetracks and really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do that again. I really enjoyed doing that and racing during the week and kind of going to some new places. It's pretty rare for me to be able to go to new places, but we've been to a lot of new places this year, and that's been really fun for me.
Well, and the racetrack at Sunset Speedway Park in Banks, for people that don't know, they say it's a quarter mile, but it's a tiny giddy up joint, and it's perfect for midgets and micros. For sprint cars, it is very, I'll let the expert in you, Dom, talk about this, but it can be a technical track.
No, it is. It's incredibly small, and when we were there, you could kind of bang it off the fence or putt around the bottom, and I even made the middle work for a little bit, but it was very technical. You had to be really smart, and I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite tracks that we went to the whole time. But yeah, it's very unique. It's just different, very stop and go. You don't really get momentum around there. You're kind of slowing down to hit the bottom, and you lose all your momentum from the corner before. And then when you do run the top, you're not really up to speed. So it's just fun. It's very different than anything I've raced before. And I would say it would almost be like a flat Placerville, but even smaller, shorter, narrower. I mean, it feels like you're racing go-karts in your buddy's backyard, and I had a blast. I really enjoyed it, and it was so darn slick that you really had to be on your game as a driver, and it was enjoyable. It was a lot of fun.
Well, and then you guys weren't able to do the whole Southern Speed Week because you guys went to the Harvey Ostermiller Memorial at Big Sky Speedway in Billings, which is a big track. It's not a half mile, but it's a big 3/8.
Yeah, we went out there, and there was a lot of I guess the nice way of saying it, a lot of confusion with a lot of different things out there, but there's a lot of potential out there for sure. I think maybe just needing to figure out a little better how to run the events, and the track prep on Saturday night was actually really good, and for some reason we still aren't really sure. I ended up having to start seventh the second night as well, and drove up through the field actually to second and started closing in on the leader and had a right rear tire to laminate. So it was unfortunate there that we couldn't have attempted to try and possibly win the 12,000 to win race. But, it was awesome to see, some competitors that we don't get to see very often. And we had a good showing. We had good speed, and, it just kind of was one of those unfortunate things. But, we had a lot of fun back there, raced for some big money. And, we enjoyed being able to go run some different stuff this year.
Well, and something big that happened during the race season is an additional family member coming into play, and I'm sure that's been an enjoyable experience.
That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, in April, early April, we had the birth of our second daughter, and that has been just a whirlwind of fun. My oldest daughter, she's a little over 2 now, and she's the light of our world. So having 2 girls now, it's so much fun, and it's like our heart's just grown. We've got 2 awesome dogs, 2 awesome kids, and we're having a lot of fun right now. So it's a great time of life, great season of life. Being able to still get away and go racing, it's become a little bit harder, but it's so enjoyable when we are able to have those good runs. And I get to talk to my oldest daughter, and she's always telling me, "Go, Dad," and she's watching the vroom vrooms and she's having fun. So, and actually, our daughter's had a great time at Dirt Cup.
Yeah.
It's getting to be really fun. The older they get, I wish it would go slower, of course, but
sure.
It's just awesome being able to share the love that I have for motorsports with my kids. And, hopefully I'm able to win races, long into their teenage years where Dad's not very cool anymore. Maybe their boyfriends will think I'm still pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, no doubt. Yeah. Regina and Stella had sort of like a Barbie or a Frozen Fest going on. I think
yeah.
Trey Starks got involved a little bit too on the transport ramp.
Yeah, he's a big Frozen fan. Actually, it's his wedding here this weekend. So instead of going to Fall Nationals, we're flying up on Thursday morning to go spend a few days with him before the wedding and help everything get set up. And my brother flies in on Sunday morning. He's in the wedding as well. Him and I are both in it.
Nice.
He flies in Sunday morning to be in the wedding Sunday night. And Trey's been a friend of mine for, my gosh, as long as I can remember. He was in my wedding. My wife and I both are in Trey's wedding, Trey and Allie's wedding. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's what's been really cool is I haven't raced every weekend. I've raced a bunch of shows, but we've taken weekends off, whether it be for work or for family stuff. And, I think this year was more of a telltale. Like I'm seeing my career probably going in that direction more, maybe less of a focus on points. I mean, really, we hadn't planned on racing for points this year, but a rain out early in the year saved us for one night. And then, with the construction in Stockton, saved us for the second one. And then I had actually planned on being in the World Finals for the finale, but it looks like we're going to actually race it with the 2 cancellations earlier in the year. We're still, I think we're third in points by like 2 points right now. So me and Justin still have a shot at each other ended up runner up in points, which is neat because it really wasn't our plan. And with the points year we've had, I felt like it wasn't a very good point season for us. So for us to still be right up there towards tip top is really cool. And, obviously Corey's had a career season, and I think that's only the beginning of his successes in sprint car racing. So it's cool to see him have all that success at a young age, and his goal was to come out and compete for a championship. And he absolutely did that. So it's been really cool, and it'll be neat there in Stockton to kind of pass the torch off to him and crown him as the next NARC champion.
Well, and what's been really cool, going back to our daughters and able to have that family time at the racetrack, that has not always been the case. There's been, it's opened up or it's softened up a lot. But me as a kid, when I was their age and, when we were their ages, it was strictly you had to hang out with somebody in the grandstands, and it was kind of a restricted zone. And now everything with people that travel so far, so much with the motorhomes and, towing, the toter homes, and that's kind of where the little kids stay. It's kind of really brought, I think, a really cool thing for us to pass to our younger ones of getting exposed to the sport in a different way, but in a cool way.
Absolutely. I grew up on the road. Not many people probably even know that, but when my dad was a drag racer, my brother and I, we lived in a motorhome. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we cut our teeth. We'd go to sprint car races all across the United States because on Friday and Saturday nights after my dad qualified, that's what we would do. So now being a sprint car racer myself, and, I'm still mostly West Coast based, but like when we go to these events and I can bring my kids with me, it's always a blast. And, my friends are having kids, and I look at my buddy James McFadden, his son Maverick. He's the coolest little kid, and it's cool now that like when we're at the races, I can introduce them, and it's stuff like that I just have memories of as being a kid, and now that my little girls are kind of, they're living the childhood that I grew up with. So it's really neat. And I wouldn't have changed anything about my childhood. And I hope that, in 20 years, maybe one day we sit down for a cup of coffee or a drink, and we're talking about our kids that are now grown up, and they grew up in racing just like we did.
Yeah. And it becomes different because, historically it would be like, oh, how are your kids doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh man, it's so great to see that your kid's doing that with my kid kind of thing. Or, it's
right.
almost like daddy daycare sometimes when I have them with me, and, you and I, we interact, and it's like, man, is your kid doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, so, exactly.
Swapping notes, so. But yeah, well, it's in 2024. It's October, and the craziness of 2023 hasn't completely settled down. But 2024, anything that you guys are kind of keeping in the back of your mind, looking to pencil in for the season, or just looking at just finishing this year out and see where things go?
We've really been doing a lot of looking, but not a lot of planning. I think it's been the most the worst kept secret of what's going on the national scene right now with the High Limit Series, the All Stars, the World of Outlaws. There's some rumblings going on with a couple different things, and I don't know if anyone really knows 100% for sure what's going to transpire, but we would definitely, I think, as a team, like to get involved, onto some scale. And I think right now I would love to be able to go back east one more time and spend a little bit of time racing the different series and competing at the level that we've been the last few years with the Outlaws when they come to town, or with the NARC series. I would love to be able to spend one more summer back there, but the tough things to overcome are I'm not going anywhere without my family. My girls and my wife are my everything, and I don't enjoy being away from home without them anymore. So as long as they can come with me and we can figure out how we do a home base, I would love to be able to look at possibly doing some racing through the Midwest. We'll for sure do a bunch of the NARC schedule again. I would be willing to bet we won't do all of it. Actually, I can probably guarantee that. But we're going to do the majority of it. We'll definitely do Dirt Cup again. I would imagine we would probably do the Summer Nationals again. But, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to shoot and point next year. We're going to see what makes sense for us. And, hopefully all of our partners that have been with us for so long decide to all come back again. And, I'd love to race 60, 65 times, maybe even more if possible. But I'd love to go back east one more time and really compete with the best guys in the nation and hopefully make California proud.
No doubt. And that was a great segue. Who are some of your partners, some of your sponsors and individuals that you'd like to thank?
Man, there's so many of them. We've got such a special thing going at Gary Scelzi Motorsports. It's a family-owned team, a family-run team. And, I've done Jimmy for 20 years now. So Jimmy is our leader and our go-to guy, and we've known him my whole life. So it's a great little team we've got here, especially with Lucas and my father-in-law working on the car, as well as our good friend Todd, who's kind of like the team mascot. He goes to every race he possibly can. But it's people like Art Whipple with Whipple Superchargers who have been with us from before day one. Before I ever even stepped in a sprint car, they had supported my micro sprint career. And, Redline Oil and K&N, we've had the opportunity at some point this year or the beginning of next year, we're going to go tour the plant of Redline. So it's things like that are very special. Sparco fire suits. I've been wearing a Sparco suit for, my gosh, probably 18 years now, and I couldn't see myself wearing anything else. Guys like Billy Deakins have supported me forever. And we've got some amazing partners, some amazing people, as well as my mom and dad's businesses, Red Rose Transportation and Scelzi Enterprises. We've got, our employees come out and they support the racing in Hanford and Tulare. So, we've got a really special family deal. I'm thankful for everyone that contributes to our team and, the local Napa stores and everybody that makes this happen. Fuel delivery service. I could go on for hours about the partners that we have, but, it's been a team building that we've done for 10 to 12 years and all the people that are on the car right now, they were there on day one and they're still there today. So I'm thankful for all of them, and I'm thankful for my guys that work so hard night in and night out, and thankful for guys like you and Jim Allen that put so much into this sport to make it happen. And it's a lot of fun. I'm very thankful for everything that's gone on here on the West Coast. There's a lot of room for improvement with all of West Coast racing, but it's come a long ways over the last 5 or 6 years, I would say, and there's a lot of positives to be thankful for.
Awesome. Well, it's always great to catch up with you. I know you're a busy individual, but I always appreciate the time that you can give me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, that is going to do it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on whatever platform you found this interview at. It really helps us grow the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll be back with more content and interviews in the future. Be sure and have a great evening or a great rest of your day, whatever time you're listening.